All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. It's time to call our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for today, August 26th, to order. First item on today's agenda is to ask Heidi to verify the quorum for us.
AJ Mosqueda,
Present.
Ron Rice, Jim Allen, Tim Bowers,
Here.
Danny Bryant,
Present?
Matias Rosales,
Present.
Scott Marhern, Hugo Garcia,
Present.
Bobby McDermott,
Present.
Ron Van Wy.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you. Now, if you stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we continue the agenda, we have the little script that we read at all of our meetings. If you have parked your car in the rear gated parking lot, please move it right away to the front parking lot. The only access through the building is through the north entrance, and you will be locked in if you leave your car in the back gated parking lot. There is no public egress from the hallway to the south parking lot, and the north entrance is the only entrance. All access to the building is limited to staff only as a security precaution. When you speak tonight, if you speak tonight, do so at the podium. Please sign in at the sign-in sheet at the back door on the rear table. When you speak, if you speak, make sure that you state your name and your address first, clearly, so that we can have that for the record. And when you speak, address the commissioners, address the chairman, and if you need questions answered, you ask us, and then we'll ask staff if we want to follow through with that. If you have handouts, give those to staff, and they will distribute them to us. Restrooms are outside the doors, down the hallway. Feel free to use those facilities as needed. And please, no food or beverages in the room, with the exception of water. Let the record show that Commissioner Allen has joined, so we have another commissioner on site. Next item, first item on tonight's agenda is to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission regular minutes of the July 22nd, 2025 meeting.
So moved. Second.
There is a motion to approve the minutes as published to the portal by Commissioner Van Wy and seconded by Commissioner Bowers. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved as presented. We've had a request from commissioners and staff to move the agenda around a little bit tonight since they're standing room only. We believe a lot of folks are here tonight to speak on item number 6. Is there a lot of folks here for item number 6? Can we see a show of hands? Yeah, that's what we thought. So we're going to move item number 6 to our first item tonight so that it can free up some seat and space for other folks if folks don't want to join us for the entire meeting. So item number 6 on tonight's agenda is special use permit case number 25-16. And the presenter for the county tonight is?
Carrillo.
Thank you, Mr. Jesus Carrillo, Senior Planner, presenting Special Use Permit 2516.
The request of special use permit is per section 604.03D of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow a health club community center on a parcel 2.33 net acres in size, zone low density residential, 40,000 square foot minimum. The property is located in the Yuma Valley planning area at 5214 West Francis Street. The intent is to convert the existing workshop into a health club community center. The facility will operate exclusively as a gym, offering fitness services and therapy to members of the surrounding community. This is the zoning map. The property is in the center with the crosshatch, parcel number 36. Property is surrounded by residential zone R140, and property to the south is currently zone SR2 and also developed with residential dwellings. And this is the aerial imagery. The subject property is outlined in blue. This picture was provided by the applicants showing the subject property. There's existing residence, and back on the northwest corner is located the workshop, which is colored in blue, and that's the intent location of the proposed gym. And this is the SAPN that was submitted by the applicant. Highlighted in yellow is the location of the workshop, and there's some parking layout being proposed. And this picture was also provided by the applicants, showing the existing workshop. Staff received comments from Building Safety Division. The following comment: all requirements of the Yuma County Comprehensive Building Safety Code and the 2003 International Fire Code shall be met. Also, environmental health section provided a comment: existing septic system to be evaluated for capacity to accommodate sewage flows from proposed health club community center. Also, the applicant, also staff received one comment received from within the zoning area in opposition to this request, which is in your packet. The applicant provided 14 signatures in support of the request where 5 properties are within the zoning area. 2 comments were received by staff from within the zoning area in favor of this request. And the zoning map shows properties in green that are within the notification area that are in favor, and the parcel in red is the one that's in opposition to the request. Staff recommend approval of special use permit case number 2516 with the performance with performance conditions. The owner or applicant shall record the following documents within 60 days of Board of Supervisor approval of this special use permit case and submit them to the Department of Development Services. A ARS 121134 waiver and an obligation disclosure statement. Also, prior to beginning operations or within 180 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, their circulation and parking area for the dust inhibitor treated aggregate base course ABC. And for operational conditions, the special use permit shall be valid for a period not to exceed 10 years from the date of approval by the Yuma County Board of Supervisors. Number 2, all parking must be accommodated on site. Parking in the right-of-way is prohibited. And lastly, number 3, the hours of operation for the Health Club Community Center shall be limited to 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday to accommodate scheduled training sessions and allow for reasonable opening and closing procedures. No activities or use of the facility shall occur outside of these hours. Operation number 3 was discussed with the applicant, and he did agree to those to that hour, and that concludes that presentation.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Commissioner McDermott.
Just one off the top. This was an anonymous complaint?
It's up there. It's in our packet.
This was an anonymous?
Mr. Chairman, yes, there was a zoning violation that was open on this property. And yeah, I believe the complaint was anonymously.
That's what our package said, I believe, so. Any other commissioners have questions of staff?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
To be a member, you just have to live in the general area. Is that correct?
No, Mr. Chairman?
It's open to
Anyone?
members of the surrounding community.
It can be open to the surrounding community, but that is not restricted to only for those neighbors.
So is it for profit or not it's for profit?
Correct, Mr. Chairman. And the
Commissioner-
applicant is present to answer any questions in regards to
We'll
who will be the
call him-
members and-
We'll call him up in a bit. Commissioner Mosqueda.
Mr. Chairman, my question would be, I know it's stated in our packet that we received previously that it was anonymous, but is that what, this is the same, one and the same that we received today?
I'm not sure, since the original complaint was anonymous that got the investigation going, doesn't necessarily mean it's the same person that's opposed.
we don't know who
We don't
complained.
know that.
Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners, to staff? Commissioner Allen?
Is the facility good about restrooms, ADA compliance, things like that?
Mr. Chairman, that will be part of the permitting review stage, and as building safety comment, they will need to comply with the building safety, with International Building Code and the fire code.
Van Wy?
What is the overall size of this facility?
That's a 40 by 80, that equals to
200 square,
1,000.
okay. So it's not required to have a fire sprinkler system then?
That will be reviewed during the permits request.
And what we have read so far is that it's actually already been in violation of the zoning ordinance because it's been being used as a gym, from what we've been told.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions by commissioners to staff? If not, would the applicant like to speak now or after the public speaks? Do you have a preference? Okay, please come forward.
Good evening, Commissioner and board members. My name is Peter Romero. My address is 5214 West Francis Street, Yuma, Arizona 85364. I'd like to introduce myself so you guys know who I am, a little bit about us. Once again, my name is Peter Romero, born in San Diego, raised here in Yuma. I graduated from Kofa High School 2000, and I enlisted into the United States Army on September 11, 2001 when we got attacked. I am I retired 20 years. I'm an Army combat disabled veteran, right? And during my time in the military, in the Army, one of my specialties was a master fitness trainer. So during the time in the Army, 18 years of my profession, I actually helped wounded warriors, overweight, pregnancy, and the health and wellness of soldiers throughout my whole military career. But during that time, I also spent 15 years in United States Army Recruiting Command, where I spent from 2006 to 2010 here in Yuma, back in my community. I requested to come back here and was able to help prepare young men and women. But during that time, I started free workouts. You may have seen, there are young men and women now that are adults that remember me when I was at Smuckers Park and had opened free community events. And I have done this my whole military career for 15 years in the Army, from Texas, Arizona, California, and in Phoenix. I've continued to do this. So I am married with my wife, Maria Romero. She's here present as well. And we have 5 children. I retired a couple of years ago, and I would say God brought us here to Yuma. This is where our family's at. Her family's here, one of 12 children. And we decided to continue after military service. I wanted to continue to serve my community. And one of the specialties that I had and a passion was helping people get in shape, health, because we've had a lot of personal families that had heart attacks, diabetes, and many people may not know this, but Yuma is the #1 obese city in Arizona. And I took it upon myself. It's just something that impacted me that I wanted to do, with serving the country, serving my community at the same time because of our faith. My parents are here. They're pastors. They've been pastors for 30 years, and they serve across the border as well as on mission. But when I originally started here in 2000 and June 2021, I started outdoor boot camps with the city of Yuma. I was told that I was the first person to legally go there and try to get a permit to be able to legally do a training program at Smuckers Park. I've always been a person to follow the rules. I asked what the regulations are, got the permits, got approved. And I spent a couple months outside, but as you guys know, in June, it's pretty hot and a lot of people, there's high risk when you're dealing with civilians. And so my timing for my business, just they were very morning or evening. I looked into, I asked the county what were the rules for home-based business occupations, and personal training, it was an option. When I looked into it, there were restrictions in the city of 2 people per hour and no restrictions inside the county. So when I asked about the restrictions, the key things that were noted to me was noise complaints. If you have noise complaints or parking issues, you would not be allowed to continue a business doing some type of outdoor stuff. So I spent a whole year outside in my garage doing trainings, and I never had a noise complaint, never had any legal noise, parking issues the whole time. And during that process, you know, we have a big family, as I said, 12 family members. There's like 50 people that come and visit. We were gone for a long time. We decided to go into building the workshop, right? And from my understanding, I only had about 20 clients for the whole year and a half. As if I grew, my intention with the workshop was family gatherings, which I did, storage of my extra equipment, which I had, swamp coolers and different things. I have sheep, I have goats. And then eventually, if I could continue to progress, I was going to open up Camp Titan Fitness, knowing that I can host them safely, right? And but it was, like I said, from my understanding of what home-based business, home occupation was, I was staying within the guidelines of the noise. I was now bringing the noise into an insulated building, AC-controlled environment. It's not a hot, it has permitted restroom. Everything was built and constructed in permit since the beginning. And like I said, I try to mitigate noise, and I've never had a complaint. I've been here now for 3.5 years doing this business. I've also partnered up with the Yuma Health and Wellness Program. So for the last 3 years, I've been part of the Yuma Health and Wellness Program with the health department, where actually the employees from the counties all have been present to those workouts because it was something they offered to employees. I've never hid anything. I've posted things online out of excitement because thinking that I've never hid it. I'm a person that tries to be loyal, like with integrity. And so I feel I've been very transparent. I feel that I've, to the best of my knowledge, followed the rules based off the guidelines that I was given, right, through this process. So I am here, you know, requesting the special use permit. Obviously, the other part too, that I mean, not only do we serve our community with health and fitness, I also have men's groups. I have some of the members here are men's people from our church, our community. We have marriage groups. We have normal, just people that come. I'm also an ESA vendor provider where homeschooled children, my daughter was homeschooled. I provided physical training for young children, as I said, to help prepare them and help them and give them another avenue to, you know, get some physical fitness and training while they're in school, during school hours. So I come before you guys looking for requesting, you know, a special use permit to be approved. I just wanted to introduce myself so you guys know where our heart is at. I'll take any questions.
Very good, thank you. Do commissioners have questions of the applicant at this point? No questions yet, but I did, and I want staff to be aware, and other commissioners as well want to know that there were some people who called me today and over the weekend who was going to be here to speak on your behalf, but didn't make it back into town. So Naja Dias of Dias Engineering called in support of the application. Les Evans with Evans Construction, he and his wife and his daughter, all three sent me emails sometime in the last few hours in support. And Pastor Tyrone Jones. So I wanted you to know they didn't forget you. They're just out of town and they can't be here. So they asked me if I would share that with the other commissioners. So if you would like to have a seat, if you need to respond after we have the rest of the things, we'll let you come back up to respond. All right, thank you. Now, if we can, we know there's an awful lot of people here. How many people are here to speak in opposition to this request? We have one. So I'm going to let him go first. I'm going to let that person go first because we want to hear the objections. And then we will get into the people who need to speak in favor of, and we'll need to put a timer on that. So we'll run a 2-minute timer. We don't want to cut you off, but we also don't want to hear the same things over and over again. You can just say we agree with the neighbor, we agree with what they're saying, and I've got something new. Not that we don't want to hear from you, it's just a matter of time in to get the other folks' business done as well. But we do appreciate you coming, whether you're here for or against. So would the opposition speaker come forward and give us name and address, please?
Hello, Steve Eckert, 5237 Poppy Street. I live in the red square there. So this applicant is not being truthful in his statements here. This building was constructed for the purpose of Camp Titan Fitness. And I submitted a written document with my attachments that you guys probably have. Here it is, a post from the social app Nextdoor. January 7, 2023. New training facility coming very soon. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. 2023 is kicked off, and we're excited for our new building. If you or anyone you know is interested in joining a small group training program, reach out with a message or check with us on Facebook, Instagram, CampTitanFitness.com. He built it for Camp Titan Fitness. He never had a workshop in there ever. It was built for Camp Titan Fitness. When he first built the building, I could hear music in the background, and I thought the music was coming from far away. Well, that went on for a few months, and then the bass started. The boom booms, the boom booms, boom booms. Me and my wife can't even eat dinner at our dinner table with the door open without hearing the boom booms from his property. I'm the applicant that made the zoning complaints as well. I did not hide it. I was not anonymous. I was very forward about who I am and why I'm complaining. This thing was not built properly. He didn't have the right permits. He didn't pull a permit for a septic tank. So he says he has a bathroom, but there's no permit for a septic tank. So did he tie into his house septic? You're not allowed to tie a business into a house septic. This is a commercial for-profit business on this property. I mean, what's the difference between this building here, this commercial gym, and me opening up a Circle K? It's a building, it's a building. I mean, the only thing home-based about this is the building's on the same property as his house, and that's it. There's nothing home-based about this business. I was the original complainer. I don't want to hear the boom booms. I want to know where are people using the restroom. I don't want them using the bushes. And then we have the stormwater. He built a parking lot. You could see it in the other photos. There is a parking lot there that people are using. Dozens of cars a day are parking in this lot. Where's the stormwater going? We just had 2 3/4 inches of rain at my house. My whole yard is under 2 inches of water. Did any of that, stuff from his parking lot get into my land? I got a well. The groundwater's 6 foot down. Am I having contamination from this parking lot? He built an illegal parking lot and has been operating it for 2 years now. 2 years I've had to deal with this situation. How many vehicles is acceptable? There's dozens of vehicles right now. What about 100, 200? What about when he grows to 500? At what point is it not going to be acceptable? It's an ABC gravel road that has put down some dust inhibitor on it. Well, I ride a motorcycle. All these dozens of vehicles up and down this dead-end gravel road every day are dragging this gravel out onto Avenue D that I got to drive through on my motorcycle every day, creating hazardous condition. There should not be dozens and dozens of vehicles going down this road to this business. Businesses should not be allowed to be on the same property as your house. It's just wrong. It's a commercial for-profit gym. There's no community center. There was never a workshop or a garage. It was built for Camp Titan Fitness. Well, you guys shut down Hidden Valley Fitness. They had the same thing. He built a gym behind his house on County 14th Street. He told me I got shut down by the county. You can't have a gym on your residential property. I mean, the whole reason I moved into this neighborhood was for the quiet neighborhood, the nice peace and quiet. There's 2 dead-end roads. There's no commercial properties anywhere close. No business district, nothing. He needs to move this business to where it's properly zoned, proper parking lots, proper restrooms, proper roads. That's what needs to happen. I mean, right now, I want to see this business shut down. I want to see this building tore down because as long as it exists, he's going to be holding classes there. You guys can't stop him. And I want to see that parking lot remediated. I want to make sure that my land is not going to be contaminated from his illegal commercial business. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this. Commissioner has a question, Commissioner McDermott?
Yes, I am. I don't go down Francis. The cars coming off Francis are dragging the rocks into Avenue D that I travel down. Yeah, but it's a dead-end road. There's not much traffic from the vehicles, from the people that live there. It's all the traffic is from this business now. Well, I'm not here to fight. I know I'm a little worked up, and I apologize if I am. I mean, that's kind of my personality. Sorry about that, but
You didn't hide it very well.
But, you know, I'm really concerned. I mean, I'm tired of hearing the boom booms. I'm tired of working in my garden and hearing boom booms, boom booms. You know, that's all you hear from this business. I don't know why he has to run such a loud bass. I mean, when it was just the radio, it was fine. Then he got this super big stereo system with all this bass, and you can hear it. You can almost feel it in my yard. I mean, I should be able to go out to my garden and work in my garden without hearing this bass. You know, I have a high-pressure job. I like to go home. I spend 90% of my time in my backyard. I'm never in my house. So that is where I live, is in my backyard. I got an awesome backyard, and I love it back there. And I tell you, when those boom booms stop, the peace and quiet is just unbelievable. I mean, I've had people at my house going, do you live next to a nightclub or something? I mean, it's unacceptable, you know? I've made a couple complaints, and I've been patient about letting the county go through their process, but I'm kind of getting a little impatient right now. I mean, I want the boom booms to stop, and I don't want to be worried about my groundwater. I don't want to be worried about where's all this storm water going that he didn't pull a permit for a parking lot, but yet he's been parking there for 2 years with dozens of vehicles. And he wants the business to grow. 100 vehicles, 200 vehicles, 500? How many is acceptable?
Thank you for sharing with us. We
All right.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now we'll open up and call the people who want to speak in favor, but I'm wondering if we have folks who, in this thing, whose property touches, the ones that are right next door or close. Is any of them going to be here to speak? Could we get you guys to speak first, just so we can have a comparison between neighbors of how loud the boom boom is?
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Mr. Carrillo, can you put the aerial view?
Good afternoon. My
Hey,
name
go
is
ahead.
Viviana Romero, and we are the neighbors right next to 5214. You can see it. It's going to be on your right-hand side.
Okay.
We recently purchased this home, so we are new neighbors. We've been a year already, and I'm actually really from 400 feet apart from them. I go outside, and sorry, I don't hear the boom, boom, boom. It doesn't sound like a nightclub. The hours are between 5:30 in the morning, which my bedroom is literally really close to the gym, to the or they have their classes, their fitness, and I can sleep through all the way till 9 or 10, and it doesn't. I don't keep in my side. It doesn't come. I can't hear anything. It hasn't been a point where it's bothered. And also, if I feel like if there will be if the sir had any complaints, he could have brought it a long time ago. If he could have heard the boom boom, why not? Why he didn't press a complaint before? Which if I had, I would have called also the cops and say, hey, I can hear the boom boom boom, but there's no complaints within 4 years. No phone calls to the cops or nothing. So
And
I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Is your name the same as the applicant's last
Yes.
name? Are you relative?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming and sharing with us. Do anyone have questions of this speaker? Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that lives real close? Yes, sir. Come speak. Yeah, we'll take the real closest ones first.
One thing I want to,
No, name and address for the
Oh,
record.
sorry. My name is Absalon Alvarez. I used to live on 5339 West Francis Street, which would be right across, right here, this house right here. My father-in-law still lives there. His name is Dr. Montero. He owns Montero's Chiropractor. I lived there when I moved from Phoenix temporarily for about a year with him, and we never heard any complaints. I actually didn't know Peter back then. I just know that a huge family moved in, and we saw a bunch of trucks out there, and we're like, that's a new family going on. I worked overnights for Cox Communication as a supervisor for the Network Operations Center, and was up at all hours of the night. I still actually go and work over there with my father-in-law during the night because my kids keep me up, so I'm actually better to sleep. I go to sleep at my father-in-law's, and if there was boom booms going on at all hours of the day and night, they would definitely wake me up. So one of the reasons I actually go and sleep there is because I agree with this gentleman, because it's peaceful and quiet. I do not hear any boom booms going on. I did want to speak on Peter and how I met him. I am one of the small groups leader for CTC with Pastor Tyrone. And I actually, about a year and a half ago, Peter actually spoke on a men's event where he challenged men to be community leaders and to take hold of what God has given us to make sure that we contribute back into the community. Me sitting on that chair, I am a leader at work. I've been a leader before. I've gone to seminary myself, but it made me reflect that I do have a lot of things that I haven't been able to do or practice because life gets to you sometimes. But his story was very inspiring to me, and it actually kind of got me off my butt and started getting involved again with the ministry. Long story short, I got involved with church again, and then just recently that I got selected to be one of the leaders to start a small group. And Peter actually opened up his gym to be a host, not even a leader. He's not my co-leader. He is just a host. And I know they say it's for profit, but his building serves more than just a profit building. From that building alone, we meet about 16 men that have gathered at his house for the past few months. And a lot of men have gone spiritual growth in their spiritual life, and not only in spiritual life, but also in their emotional lives. I've seen a lot of marriages being restored because of the building and his avenue of just opening his home and his building up. So this is not just a gym for people to get healthy, but this is a place where people are able to worship God. There's a place where people are able to restore their marriages, restore community, and restore families. I think it's a little bit exaggerated to say that there's a boom boom. I've gone there where we're playing the music, and you can really not hear anything standing outside the parking lot. Also, from living at my father-in-law's, all those places right here, all of it is irrigation. So as far as like every single one of these homes can irrigate their homes. So I don't know what he's talking about as far as like building some type of parking lot that is going to be able to drain, because essentially all those properties are meant to be flood irrigated. So all the neighbors have the ability to do so, and I don't understand where that complaint is coming from.
Oh, let me ask you a question, because we're going to try to keep them down to the 2-minute mark if we can. When you have your 16 people there, how many cars are there? Is there 16 cars as well?
We have a 16 in part that could potentially get there, but it's usually about 7 of us that show up, so about 7 cars.
7 or 8 cars. Okay. Do any commissioners have questions of the speaker? If not, thank you, sir. Who would like to speak next? Yes, sir. Come on forward. Name and address for the record. And the rest of the folks who are wanting to speak, if you could just start to kind of line up so we don't have so much time in between speakers, and we'll get through them faster that way. Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. My name is William Mogan. I live at 5287 Francis. That's the house just here. I'm about 2 doors down from Peter and his wife. If you go in the backyard at night, that's where you'll find me on the phone with my wife right now. She's out of town. You'll hear donkeys, you'll hear our horses and our chickens, the occasional guinea hen, and the peacocks.
Those are loud.
Those are loud.
Sound of a peacock.
At 2:30 in the morning. The peacocks are probably the loudest thing on the block, with the occasional donkey putting in his 2 cents. But there is not a loud bass that you can hear in the backyard, in the front yard. I spend a lot of time working outdoors. I do need to work out with Peter. But I have the opportunity. We talk. He gives advice. He doesn't charge for that advice. what you're hearing about him being a leader is true. And if you get the chance, go and work out with him at his gym. Seriously. I did for over a year. It made me a better person. I stopped, but life got in the way. It's a better place having him on the block. That's
Thank
what
you,
I'll
sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Come on up.
Donald Kugler, 5263 West Francis Street. I live across the street, one door over between the last guy and Mr. Romero. Our daughter is a homeschool, has ESA, has worked out at Camp Fitness. The stereo inside the building, you can hear it. Outside of the building, during the day, if you could hear it, Peter's the type of guy that you could call day or night. Actually, I called him at 3 o'clock in the morning because we had coyote issues and stuff. He always answers his phone. He's accommodating. If you had a problem with him or his stereo, all you would have to do is say, hey, can you turn it down? Can you turn the bass down? And he would. That's the type of guy he is. He's helpful to the community. He's helpful to the neighborhood. His clients are respectful. If you didn't know that there was a gym back there, you would not know that there was a gym back there. So,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next speaker, please.
My name is Rosemary Kugler, wife of Donald Kugler, 5263 West Francis Street. I am to the southwest caddy corner of the property. Again, I have no noise complaints. There's roosters louder than ever any music. I know Peter and Maria to be responsible neighbors. They look out, we call each other if there's an issue. Never had an issue with traffic, people driving bad, too many cars. And just to mention, Francis Street is a dirt road, but you see that we have the farmland in the back. So we do have a lot of farm equipment, the people that farm that property in and out of the road that may be causing the issue he spoke of with the dirt, but they do grade it well and water it. It's a very well-maintained street, so I don't know that he really has a lot of extra traffic that might be causing that issue. And again, no noise complaints. And yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you for sharing with us. Next speaker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I live at 5166 West Francis Street. That's 2 properties over from where Peter lives. I'm an active duty Marine.
What is your name?
Jacob Gross.
Thank you.
So my mother-in-law owns the property. She bought it for us while my wife and I were in the military. And I got back from deployment in November, and I had 26 days of leave to build all the fencing and everything for the horses that we have on the property. And so I was out there for 26 days in a row, never had any such noise come from that property. And just like the last 2 speakers said, he's very accommodating. If you ever had any issue with him, whether that be noise, parking, anything, he's the kind of guy who would take initiative, own up to a potential mistake, and he would fix it immediately. So I just want to say there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to run a successful business here, and he will not affect any of the neighbors.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Mike Embry. I live at 5443 West Francis Street, which is this property right here. So I live far enough away that I don't hear what's going on down there. So that's not an issue. One thing that I can comment on is the road. That road was sealed about 2 years ago with some kind of anti-dust oil something or other, but there is 0 gravel on it. It's highly slippery. Every time it gets wet, you dang near got to use 4-wheel drive to get down it, as we found out yesterday. So as far as gravel on Avenue D, he might want to contact Ryan Lee at Lee Farms. They're the ones that own those acres right there, those open acres. There's no gravel in those either, but I can tell you that when the lettuce trucks come down, that place is destroyed for about 7 months out of the year. I've known Pete since he moved down here. Great guy, honest guy. That's really all I have to say. So I hope you approve it because he's a great guy.
Thank you,
And,
sir.
and as far as cars parked there, I drive down that road 6 times a day. And most I've ever seen is probably about 3 or 4 cars there. And we've never had any parking issues. It's been really easy. So
Thank you, sir.
hope you approve it. He's a good guy.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Eddie. I live Eddie Roscoe. I live on 3100 West 16th Street. I'm a member of Peter's men's group as well as the gym that he operates in. I've been going to his location for about 6 months now, pretty consistently, and I can attest that there isn't any sort of noise issue that goes on. I've gone in the afternoons when it's 5:30 or 6 p.m. I've gone in the mornings when it's 5:30 a.m. Either way, when you're outside in the parking lot, you can't barely hear any music at all. I've had my son there when we go to do our men's groups there on his property, and I have a 1-year-old. He's able to sleep when he's there. I think that'd be impossible if he has such a loud music system, right? I've been able to work out there with my son running around, and that has been an issue. So from my perspective, I definitely don't see how there's any kind of problem with any sort of boom boom at all. I've known Peter to be a very respectful, generous, caring, and considerate person, and like many of the witnesses here have attested to, any kind of issue he would absolutely want to resolve. So I've been going there for quite some time. I think that it's a fantastic place. He's a member of this community that I really respect, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him be able to continue with having this place open to other men and other women that are there to improve their fitness and also their spiritual well-being and for their family's sake as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for sharing with us. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Samuel Rodriguez, Samuel Rodriguez. I am both a member of his congregation and a participant in his gym. And I'm speaking on behalf of Peter's integrity, both his and the business that he runs. I've known Peter about 1.5 years now, and I can tell you that some of the things I've heard on the opposition party are quite exaggerating as far as the things that are being stated. I know Peter's known me for that. In 1.5 years, I've known that I've struggled with my weight. I do have a gym membership elsewhere as well, but it's hard for somebody who works 2 jobs at times to get that done. And Peter has never oversold this business. He's never pressured me. He's never even mentioned. All I know is from people that there's a guy named Peter in the church that has a gym. After going to his men's group, again, Peter never told me about his gym. Even though we meet there, he's never promoting it. It's more so something that we identify as something that being beneficial. After finally accepting the fact that I needed some help, Peter's been somebody who offers more than just a business. It's somebody who offers a lending hand, support. If I don't show up, he checks in on me. How am I doing? If anything, he can help me. So for somebody who's always struggled with that, it makes it hard for them to come to the gym as somebody who's benefiting my life, my relationship, my personal marriage, and my personal health as well, and improving that. I can tell you from going to his men's group, I've never heard the music out there as well. The road is extremely nice. As you can see, the actual workshop is not on this picture, but it's not even near the property in the back. It does have animals towards the back there, so I can't see any issues with the, yeah, it's right about here. So you can see we meet here. This is probably a good distance before any form of runoff of water going in there. In the evening or during the day, you can't really see back there. You can't even hear the music. But as far as his integrity and seeing him as a leader in our group, he's always carried himself like what he is a veteran. He has a lot of integrity, a lot of respect. He always speaks on that and understands his own responsibility, not only as a person, but as a Christian and also a community member, and understanding that he's always going to abide by the rules, always going to seek that help. So thank you.
Time's up,
Appreciate
but
it.
thank you for sharing. Yes, sir. Next speaker.
My name is Brian Freeman. I live at 15690 South Avenue 2 3/4 East, so I am on the complete opposite end of the counties from where Peter is. So I drive that, and I've been driving that daily for about 4 years now. My wife does the same thing, so we're racking up miles on our car. But I can tell you that in terms of the road, I was just thinking, I was like, probably the biggest noise complaint I think you can get is when he has us running up and down the road and me breathing during the ride. So that's probably the worst thing. And I would actually like my road out in the counties to have as little dust as his does. So, but in terms of what he provides, I can tell you that my wife and I have had or experienced tremendous health benefits from the programs that he does and what you've heard from the other people about him being genuinely interested in things other than just, you're working out, general health and health maintenance things is really to be commended, and the value that he's presented for the community, I think, is really huge. We have a couple of kids that play in the hockey league, and when they were redoing the rink, he had even put on a program for the kids to come over and get some workouts in for our local hockey club too. So it's probably the one thing that hasn't been mentioned yet. But yeah, he's a great benefit. So thanks for letting me.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jennifer Merrill, and I live at 4480 West 14th Street. I've been working out with Peter and Isabel or Maria for about 3 years now. And I agree with what everybody has been saying in favor. But what hasn't been said is I understand the gentleman's complaint or concern about the class sizes, 100 people. Peter limits the class sizes for every class. I mean, there's only so much equipment, right? So he's not going to have 100 people or 50 people all at once. So they're very small groups. And so I think that's important to share. And I've been at other gyms, and what I find with Peter is very individualized. And I have my mom. She works out with us too in a different group. But it's a very safe environment for all ages. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Eva Peroni. I live in 4832 West 29th Lane. I've been with them since they started in the garage. I actually wish I was there right now at the gym working out, but we're here. But I just wanted to let you guys know that the couple is an amazing couple. They changed my life. I started as a very, I'm postpartum, so sorry if I cry, but I started as a very, low self-esteem, anxiety-ridden. I was on Xanax, multiple, medications. I came to them. They restored me completely. They took me to Christ as well. That's how it started. I've been there with them since. I go every single day if I can, and they're just very, very good people. They're filled with, integrity. They have a lot of, like many people have mentioned, if someone has an issue, they resolve it immediately. If it could be addressed and people have more open communication, things would be more simple, but we live in a very, complex world. But I'm sure if it was, called out to him, he would have, fixed the issue immediately. They're like that. They're amazing people, and I just, stand strong and hope that, you guys can understand that part.
Thank you for sharing with us. Next speaker, please.
My name is Becky Denna. I live on 1393 South Apache Lane. Now that's a dangerous neighborhood right there, the lanes.
The lanes.
Yeah. I obviously don't hear his music, but I hear all my other neighbors' music and the fireworks that go off all the time. But that's a whole different story. I just want you guys to know that I moved back to Yuma about 6 years ago, and I'm not postpartum, so I'm just gonna cry because I'm gonna cry. But I met Peter at Cibola High School because he wanted to see if there was a way for him to help out some of our athlete students. So, just to help keep them in shape and stuff. And then I started asking him, so he let me try his class. And I tell you what, I actually enrolled that same day, and I even paid for the class he let me have because that's how important you feel as an individual there. That's a family. That's a community. That's the reason I've stuck it out for 2 years. And I benefit them for helping me heal through, going through my divorce and moving back to, Arizona, a place I didn't want to be. One last thing is the speaker system, the stereo system that supposedly Peter has. I have the same one at my house. So it's not fancy, it's just a speaker and you attach your songs with your phone. So it's a Bluetooth speaker. So I just don't understand where the whole boom boom thing's coming from. But it's not like this advanced, like speakers blaring everywhere or nothing. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I hope you guys consider this because he's doing more benefit than the one person complaining about some music.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I live at 11671 South Renee Avenue in the foothills. So he has people everywhere. Anybody's invited. everything that Peter said, I can contest because I known him since he was 8 years old. So everything he said, and I know you can tell by all these people talking that he's a man of integrity and he's a man of God and he wants to help the community and people. One thing that bothers me a lot is when I hear somebody come up and say false accusations. That's kind of bothers me, especially when I know they're 100% false. As far as the boom boom, there's no boom boom because I can't stand that boom boom, and I'm his dad, and I would have been the first to tell him turn that garbage off. Okay, so wherever he's getting that boom boom from, he needs help with that. But and there's parties all around that are so loud all night long. I've stayed at his house. I've heard it. I've watched my grandchildren. You know, it's Yuma. There's parties. There's quinceañeras. There's parties sometimes all night long. Peter has his gym in the daytime. So from 5:30 in the morning till 8, there's no boom boom. And like the last lady said, the speaker's about this big. And it's one of those ones you just hook up to your phone, even probably in its loudest. I mean, I'm serious here. We just gotta think about this whole thing. As far as all the zoning, because it doesn't matter if he's right and we're wrong. The zoning is what's right, if you're doing what's right according to the county. I've been with Peter every step of the way. He wants to make sure every T is crossed, every I. I've seen him stress over I'd say, Peter, you don't have to go that crazy. It's Yuma. It's not that bad. You can take it easy. But he's like that. That's just the way he is. And as far as he said with the septic and all, Peter went through every, the problem would be for the people that did all the inspections and all that. It wouldn't be on him. So, you know, I just want you guys to see this whole picture. And
I think we're getting a pretty good picture, so we do appreciate you
I'll
coming
stop.
and sharing with
I
us.
am a pastor, so I can
Oh.
carry on for a long time.
No wonder
Yeah.
sermons have to be 45 minutes, right?
I'm just going to walk away fast. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pastor. All right. Looks like all of the speakers have been accomplished, so we're going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting. I'm going to ask the applicant if he would come back up just for a couple of questions that I have and maybe other commissioners might have. About the boom boom. Obviously, the gentleman believes and has heard something that disturbed him. You seem like somebody that's willing to try to get along with neighbors. Do you think it's possible that the boom boom is there occasionally, and is there anything you can do to control that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't want to deny there's no. My kids sometimes go and work out and they play music. I have teenagers, you know.
That explains a lot.
No, but so they do. I'm not denying it. Bass can travel. There's noise. I have one speaker, so it's not I bought one speaker just so you know, Mr. Eckert.
No, got to speak to
sorry.
us, not yeah.
And but yes, by all means. I mean, I'm looking into now if I am allowed, I'm looking at a different type of system that actually doesn't have bass that can wouldn't travel. But the point is, like, I will always lower the music. If there was a phone call or anything, even like for anybody, one of my neighbors, I leave that open for the community. Okay, I am not unreasonable, and I'm sorry if the bass has been that loud. But yes.
And the second question I have is the numbers of people. Now, the people that have called me and described as some did here tonight, you're a personal trainer more than a gym operator in some ways. That you're always present in the classes, or most always present in the classes, and there's small numbers of folks. Do you have aspirations, or do you see a problem where you would try to grow with so many members that you would be a problem to the community?
I can address this whole 100, 200, 500. I can understand the concern. So the way it is, I call it a private training facility because it is open to the public, right? But when people come, like I have limited spots. I keep it small on purpose, like 10 and below. Sometimes I have me and Linda or just by ourselves. She's the oldest client, 78 years old, and her bestie comes as well, you know, and we're one-on-ones. But my classes are normally between 5 and below, right? Can I hold, I put up to 10 because I like to give myself that leeway, but that's it, that's max at any given point. So if I have 7, in theory, that's as many as I would get maxed out. I would never go beyond that because I cannot handle more than that. Me and my wife are both the trainers. So when it comes to that, it's limited. It's very limited and controlled. It's not an open gym. And this was my I guess, trying to understand what is classified a gym. I don't have a sign. I don't have open to anybody. I have hours of operations, and every individual client is interviewed with me, and they have a specific set time. Now, if you can't make that time, then I work with them within my working hours. So I will never grow to 500. If that's a good problem, I will buy a commercial property, and I will go that big route. But until then, I had no need to venture out, and I would never grow. Honestly, like I don't think I would ever get to 100 because normally my classes are, like I said, if I get 10 below, we're talking 70 max.
Even if you grew to 100, you would have 10 classes of
Correct.
10.
Correct.
I mean, you wouldn't
It would
have,
never. I keep it to low. Now I am always, so just to clarify, I'm always in the class. There's never a time that I'm not. I am always there. If not, or me and my wife both together. It's not unsupervised. Okay, it's nothing. It's controlled. I'm there 24/7, CPR certified. Everything that we need is there.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant?
Just point of clarification
for
Mr. So basically, your concept is an open gym, but it's almost like the barber shops where they're open to the public, but you need an appointment. So you vet your clientele, your I don't know, you want to call them your patients or clientele, and you have by appointment your group. So it's not like anyone from the street could just show up and say, here's my membership card, I want to use a gym. Right. So it's something that you control to avoid that same concept. So, okay, just want to make sure we put that out there because.
And just to also clarify, for my parking lot, right? I mean, it's been 2 years. Les Evans actually treated with the asphalt millings, ABS. So I believe he told me that was above ABS for the asphalt millings that were placed on that 2 years ago to mitigate. We did that to mitigate any type of extra dust or issues. And I believe as in the report as well, it was stated that the road was with magnesium. There's no gravel. They have that magnesium spray that they placed on the road.
Mag chloride, I think they call it.
Mag chloride,
right?
there you go.
Very good. Any other commissioners have questions? If not, commissioners, it's time to make a decision.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner McDermott.
Yes, I would move to approve the special use permit for case number 2516.
I'll second.
There is a motion by Commissioner McDermott with a second by Commissioner Powers to recommend approval of this special use permit case 25-16 as presented by staff with the conditions placed by staff. Is there any further discussion? If not, I do want to thank Mr. Eckert, and Mr. Eckert, whatever he heard, I mean, I think he had a real concern, and I hope that you're very careful when you address that to try to make sure that you minimize any aggravation there. But having said that, all in favor of the motion to approve or recommend approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? The decision is unanimous, and congratulations.
Let's go to the Board of Supervisors.
Wow.
You may all leave.
Yes, we're going to take just a little bit of a
Welcome to stay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can stay if you want to. It's hard one not to approve, right?
Yeah, there's some, like he said that gym was built without permits and that.
Is that your oldest son?
You go look him up. Or,
She works out there every day.
I don't believe it.
And that's your oldest son or your youngest
He
son?
told me when he called me this morning it was designed by an engineer. And
Homeless.
Oh, okay.
no, he's just mad. And I understand when you get mad, you don't see right. You say things he probably wishes he wouldn't have said someday soon.
yeah, see, you have to live with these people.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to tell where the boom boom's coming from.
All right, we're going to get forward with the remainder of our agenda tonight. We'll go back to item number 4 on tonight's agenda. This is rezoning case 25-16, and the presenter tonight is?
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner.
Thank you.
This request is to rezone a property from RA10 to SSB2. It's located at the southwest corner of County 15th Street and Avenue 3E, and the intent of this rezoning is to split the property into 4 lots. Subject property is located right here and identified by the crosshatch. The property in the green is RVP, the tan is RA10, and the red to the southeast is SSB2. This is an aerial photo of the property. There's a single-family dwelling on the east portion, that is not part of this project. To the north is Del Pueblo RV Park. The property is surrounded by agriculture on the northwest, west, south, and east sides. The southwest is developed with residences. This is a proposed site plan. Access would be off of County 15th Street and Avenue 3E. Comments were received by MCAS. And staff is recommending approval of this case, subject to the conditions shown here on the screen. That concludes my staff report.
Very good, thank you, Richard. Is there anyone, any commissioner with questions of staff at this point? If not, is the applicant here? Would the applicant like to speak? No one's rising. We'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting now and ask if there's anyone who would like to speak concerning this rezoning case 25-16.
He's not getting up.
He's not getting up.
Let the record show that Tony smiled. Seeing no one wanting to speak, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to staff or to commission for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner McDermott.
Having to do with the irrigation system, if you flip back to the aerial photo, I really hate this block busting thing to begin with. But I will not let personal stuff get in my way. However, I cannot tell where the irrigation system is. And it needs to, from the looks of the property, it's going to need a whole new ditch system to deliver water. I'm assuming, is that in Unit B or Unit A irrigation district?
They were cheering about my selfie.
I don't think that's irrigation.
I don't think it's, I don't have it identified as in any irrigation district in here.
It might not be
I don't
irrigated.
think that's irrigated.
It looks
It was at
like
one
it would
time.
be Unit B with the way the trees are in there. But anyway, I just want to make sure that if it's irrigation district delivery, that it is a properly designed delivery system for those parcels, and each one independent of the other, so that you don't have to water through your neighbor to get to you, sort of a thing.
That would be the development side.
That's item number 2 and scheduled for development.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those can become a nightmare.
Well, they added that quickly just for you, Bob.
Just because they knew she was gonna have
I read that, but looking, normally you can see where
a ditch somewhere.
there's
yeah.
a conveyance ditch. I'm almost wondering if it's in Unit B and it's serviced by a pipeline, which makes irrigation a little more difficult, and they don't get quite as much water. So
It's located in
that's
the
why
Yuma
I'm
Mesa.
curious where it was.
Located in the Yuma Mesa Irrigation and Drainage District.
Which one?
Yuma Mesa Irrigation and
Okay,
Drainage District.
okay, they know what they're doing.
I'd like to make a
Commissioner
motion unless somebody else has something else.
We can get discussion if there is.
I would like to move that we,
Mr. Chairman,
Wait a
Adrian,
second, we have a speaker now.
so Adrian Vega, 1560 South Fifth Avenue with Dow Robinson Associates. Just to answer Commissioner McDermott's question about the irrigation, there's a ditch currently on the west side that is going to get extended to service these parcels.
Okay, so it's on the
Yeah, it's
west
on the west,
blue line?
on the west blue line.
that is an old picture, I believe, to tell you the truth, because I think there's houses.
Hard to tell.
already-
I think the blue line is covering it, but it's there. It's on the west side, so there's going to be a ditch extending to the east to service these lots.
The top of that map is north?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So go to your layout of your lots. the proposed layout,
Right.
how are you going to get parcel B and C?
Through the middle, through that line.
Okay, then if that's west, then that's not north at the top.
Yes, that'll be north, that'll be west.
No, but the existing line's to the west, but they're going to extend it.
Okay, if the ditch is on the west side, how are you going to water B and C?
Through the middle.
There's gonna be an easement here that's gonna, and then this ditch is gonna get extended.
Oh, okay, okay.
Good. All right. All right, now, the public hearing is definitely closed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve rezoning case number 25-16 as presented by staff.
I'll second that.
There's a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Mosqueta to recommend approval of rezoning case number 25-16 as presented by staff. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation to approve is unanimous. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda, special use permit case 25-15. Presenting for the county tonight is
Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for special use permit per section 601.03W of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow an accessory dwelling unit on a parcel 0.36 acres in size zone, rural area, 20-acre minimum. The property is non-conforming, located in the Martinez Lake planning area at 10425 West Vista del Rio in Yuma, Arizona, to allow and the intent is to allow an accessory dwelling unit. This is the vicinity and zoning map showing the subject parcel, cross-hatching highlighted in red. Access to the properties through Vista del Rio and Martinez Lake Resort Unit 1, the streets. Properties on the north are within the Martinez Lake Resort Unit 1, Zone PD. All the properties over there are improved with a mixture of manufactured homes, RVs, and site builds. Parcel 41 is Zone RA20, as well as improved with a site build. All parcels on the west from the subject property are Zone RA20, improved with site build. Parcel 9 and 10, same way, Zone RA20, and improved with site builds. This is an aerial view showing the subject parcel outline in blue. This is a bird's eye view. Highlighted in kind of red is the existing residence. The rest of the structures have been removed by the applicant. This is a view looking east at Vista del Rio from the west. Looking southwest at the subject parcel from the southeast, northeast corner. Now, comments received from property from residents within the notification area. Staff recommends approval of a special use permit case number 25-15, subject to the following performance condition. Number 1, within 60 days of approval by the board, the owner or agent shall record a navigation disclosure statement and record a restricted airspace disclosure statement. Also, the subject following operational conditions. Number 1, the approval of the special use permit is based on the site plan submitted by the applicant. Any change from the site plan requires prior approval by the planning director. And number 2, the principal dwelling and ADU shall not be rented out separately. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my staff's presentation, and the applicants are present.
Thank you very much. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? If not, would the applicant like to speak at this time? Just to answer any questions? All right, let us open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask if there's anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to speak concerning this special use permit case number 25-15, either for or against. There's no one rising, so we're going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting, and we'll come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be the person to move in that we approve this special use permit 25-15 as presented by staff.
I second.
Great. We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Garcia to recommend approval of special use permit case 25-15 as presented by staff. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation will go for approval unanimously. Next item on tonight's agenda, item number 7. Special use permit case number 25-17. And the presenter tonight for that special use case is?
Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request per section 601.03T of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow a solar power generating
Hey, Mr.
facility.
Owen, your case is being heard right now, so I'm going to put you in speaker, okay?
That's
forgot
right.
that.
I should have announced that. Heidi gave me plenty of times before the meeting. She said, now don't forget to announce that the applicant will be joining us by phone. And I forgot. I got a demerit coming. Sorry to interrupt your presentation, but welcome to the applicant, and our county staff are just presenting the case to us right now. Move forward, sir.
Thank you.
To allow a solar power generating facility on a parcel 40 gross acres in size, zone rural area, 40-acre minimum, located in the Dayland East County planning area, northeast corner of Avenue 73.5 East and North County 14.5 Street in Dayland, Arizona, to allow a solar power generating facility. This is the zoning and vicinity map showing the subject parcel, highlighted in red and crosshatched. There's no legal access to the property. Properties on the west, south, and east are zone RA40, unimproved. Parcel number 2 is also unimproved but in agriculture. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant. On the right, you can see the array of solar panels, and they will be aiming at a solar tower, concentrating the rays. This is a depiction of probably the tower to be installed. On the lower left corner, you will see some circles with numbers 1 and 2. So number 1 will be the tower, which will have a total height of 125 feet. That will require a variance. One variance is already in process to allow that to exceed the maximum height allowed in that zoning. This is a map submitted by the applicant showing the location of the facility and the preferred access from Palomas Road and the alternate access. This is a view looking south at Avenue 74E alignment from the intersection with County 14.5. This is a view looking southwest of the intersection Avenue 74E and County 14.5 Street North. Now this is a view looking at County 14.5 Street North alignment from 74E. And this is a view looking northwest of the subject parcel from the southeast corner. Now if you're looking north from the south of the property. Staff received comments from MCAS, ADOT, Welton Mohawk, Arizona Game and Fish Department. The time that we requested comments from Arizona Game and Fish Department, they didn't have enough time to comply with them, to submit them. So therefore, staff used comments used in 2021 for the same, when they applied for special use permit 2104, which was approved back then. And the recommendations were used in this staff report. However, on August 15, staff received new comments from Arizona Game and Fish Department, just providing guidelines. Right now, the applicant and Arizona Game and Fish are in contact and coordinating efforts. An hour ago, I received a letter in opposition of this special use permit. So that's why I didn't have time to update the comment at the bottom. Staff recommends approval of a special use permit case number 25-15, subject to the following performance conditions listed on the slide, and also the following operational conditions. If the commission wants staff to read them all, I can read them, or?
Anyone wants staff to read all of these conditions? All of the recommendations? No, we've read them in our report, so we'll spare you that pain.
And with that, Mr. Chairman, staff concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, can I follow up with one question of staff?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr.
Just
Chairman.
one question when you get caught up
We
there.
are having a deep.
I saw Maggie scolding you, so. I didn't want to interrupt that. It was fun. This was approved in 2021?
Yes.
And I'm suspecting that the performance conditions wasn't met, so it just didn't.
That is correct. Most of the the permits applied for, they got expired, so they
They
did
just
not.
expired.
Therefore, we needed
So
to.
starting from ground one again.
Correct.
Do any other commissioners have questions of staff? Commissioner McDermott?
Mr. Chairman, they will need to obtain legal access and improve that legal access as part of the conditions. Performance condition, they had 180 days to obtain legal access.
Not our department, that'll be their department.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners have questions of staff? Or any further questions?
I've got questions of the applicant.
We'll get him next. All right, the applicant is on the phone. Would you like to make statements now, sir?
No, we're complying with everything. We have a meeting set up already with Fish and Game. I want to make it clear this site doesn't use any petroleum, hydrocarbons, fossil fuels, or store any materials like that. It runs purely on hot air. I read through the SUP comments. One of them, I believe, was from a local tribe. This isn't like Tonopah. It doesn't use molten salt. It directly uses a cavity back receiver on the top, so it doesn't glow. It's dark, or it's just a piece of metal and ceramics. And that heat energy is then directed down into what they call externally fired or hot air turbines. So there's no steam, no boilers, no molten salt, no chemicals of any kind.
Okay, commissioners have questions of the applicant? Commissioner McDermott?
Well, this is like a cave. It's like a cavity back receiver. So there's an aperture on the front of it, and then in front of that, there's that's the opening, and there's quartz half pipes. So the system interior-wise is sort of sealed off from that on the thermal receiver, and then of course we run a very small fan that keeps it under positive pressure to keep the dust out of it when we're not aspirating the hot air down to the turbine. But yes, dust is always a problem out on these sites where you've got reflective surfaces, whether they're solar panels or troughs or heliostats. In our case, where the wind gets above 12, 15 miles an hour with the soil out there, it'll pick up some of that dust, and then we periodically have to air dry them off or wipe them off. But it's not that it won't work, it's just that you get a little degradation in the efficiency.
How much water will this solar site require?
Well, we're going to store, we're going to have water brought in, and we're going to store 2 tanks, and we'll sort of get a feel for our needs over the first couple of years. There's also discussion of coming back and working with the county and putting in a reclamation water so we can gather rainwater and use that. Simple clarifier would work for us to separate out the particulate and things and be able to use reclaimed water. But initially, we don't really have a feel for the total. To clean each heliostat thoroughly takes about a liter. But there's no intent at this point in time to go through and clean them on demand because they work, at 92% efficient when they're still kind of dusty. Very much like the solar panel or the solar plant that's just a little bit to the east of us.
Does you're familiar with the Ivanpah installation?
You're very familiar with it. Yeah, that's a different kind of receiver. Everything goes up to ceramic blocks up there on the top. So when you're driving by and it's operational, you can see it's glowing like a big cherry on top. And we don't have that. Like I said, ours goes into an aperture inside of a cave, basically. If you imagine a ball with a hole in it, that's what we're shooting our light into. And they convert all that heat energy into salt. So they make molten salt. And the biggest problem they've had really since the conception of that is when it goes down and there's a power outage or they have a problem, that salt solidifies in their pumping systems and piping and all that kind of stuff, and it causes problems. They convert all that heat energy. The salt just is is a medium to get the heat down to the water where they make steam. And then they run steam turbines, which are very reliable. In our case, we're actually just taking air from that receiver on the top. It's coming down pipes, and some of it gets stored for use for nighttime power, and some of it goes directly to the turbines to run those turbines straight off hot air.
Okay, let me see. So what happens to the power after you have produced it there? I understand that neither Welton Mohawk nor APS have transmission lines in those areas and are not really interested in that. So where does the power go?
Well, we've had, that's kind of a straw man statement, isn't it? Because we've had conversations with APS, and if we decide there is a three-phase 480 line out there running north and south, 2 properties to the right of us, and we've met with APS regarding that. So should we decide to go for an interconnect agreement with APS, they would effectively be a power purchase agreement where they buy what we make. The intent at this point in time is to get the system up and operational, and the power that we generate from that will just effectively, it's what they call, we use a toaster directly on site until we get it all dialed in, and then we'd work with the utility once we get operating hours up north of about 8,000 hours, so that we can be a constant, steady sort of base load. Well, it's not base load because it's solar, but reliable. And this is a newer technology. Not the turbines aren't new, but this particular receiver is a new type of receiver. So we need to get it operational before we look to expand it out. And we have another facility we're looking at putting in right now in Hawaii, and then one in actually in Zimbabwe. So.
Well, I'm only concerned about the one in Yuma County, Arizona, sir. And this is so on the 40 acres, how much of it is actually going to be under your receivers?
Well, that's a great question. So the current layout that we've configured is under 10 acres. I think it's closer to 8 acres. And of course, we have, the road access work that we're putting in out there. And I heard mentioned earlier, road improvements to get to the site itself, of course. And then any of the displaced water, that is a runoff channel that we have there. So we have pond and stuff going in near the tower. But as far as the 40 acres, we're at sub 10 acres on our site.
Okay. We've got great concerns about our wildlife and our birds. These types of facilities tend to attract animals because there is water, which creates feed. Your fencing indicated that you were going to put a barbed wire on top of it, which is not a real popular idea. Plus, they're way too short because we put up 10-foot fences for deer in our farmlands. So it's a real concern to me. I've worked in this county for 55 years, and I've watched these things come and go. And it just seems too speculative, a little too, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to put that kind of money into a 40-acre parcel out in the middle of nowhere. But it's your money. But I really, the damage to our private land, and this I assume is private land, that we've only got 7% of it in the whole county, and that is an area that is full of wildlife. Antelope, deer, all kinds of sorts of critters. People will be very upset if they start dying. So I guess.
I hear your concerns.
I guess you have an economic tablet that pencils this out a lot better than the ones I've seen in the past. That's all.
Oh no! Believe me, your concerns are our concerns as well. We're all outdoorsmen in my group and my company, and it's our intent. We've scheduled a meeting with Fish and Game to talk to them about several of the things you're talking about, access and easy exit from the ponds, making sure that the fencing is compliant, both cosmetically and to help whatever we can do with the animals. Yeah, we don't. When we're trenching, we leave exits for any of the animals that might get caught in the trenching before we backfill it and put it back together. And then, of course, we're responsible to put, an escrow or a bond in place to return it to its natural state in the event that, the system ever goes offline. So we're with you. We feel exactly the same way. We can work out there and fit it in and not disrupt things as little as possible.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant? If not, we're going to open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask people in the audience who would like to address this special use permit application, and then we might call back on the applicant after that. So hang on the phone with us. The public hearing portion is open. Anyone like to speak concerning this, please come forward. Name and address for the record, please.
Commissioners, board members, my name is Jonathan Olbert. I live at 3966 South J. Edward Drive, Yuma, Arizona 85365. I'm speaking on behalf of Yuma Proving Ground. We have a few points of concern with this, and we speak in opposition. First point of concern is on our east side of our test range at Yuma Proving Ground is where a lot of the area where we test some of our highly sophisticated sensors. And a lot of them, whether they're ground-based on platforms at an elevated position, or whether they are actually airborne sensors flying in manned or unmanned aircraft, a lot of them looked eastward out towards that direction. And I believe the site is 15 miles from our eastern boundary. But some of the concerns is that the sensors, a lot of them pick up infrared or heat signatures. And those can cause distortions, ghost images that kind of almost like burn an image into a sensor platform when they pick up high temperature objects. And so some of our concerns that this site is going to have a very high temperature, fixated point, and it's going to provide some sort of background signature that could be damaging to some of the sensor technology that we test out there, and also interfere with some of our test mission in being able to assess the ability of these things to pick up and read signatures appropriately. One of the other points of concern is that a lot of these facilities have foreign investors. I'm not 100% sure on this specific site, but even if the facility is built and owned by a private company that is 100% U.S. owned, they can, and oftentimes do, transfer it to foreign investors. And now we have foreign investors that can have some sort of influence around the area. Also, they can set up listening stations and other things that can hone in on some of our testing, which isn't a far-fetched idea. It's actually been happening in many locations across the country. So we have a huge concern for that. And albeit it's 15 miles, a lot of the stuff that we test out on that east range isn't just sensors, but also electronic warfare equipment and a lot of signal processing equipment and communications equipment. And it is definitely within that range that it can pick that up. And if adversary countries are there that have investment, that want influence, that would be a big issue. Also, much of this infrastructure utilizes, especially in the communications equipment, utilizes foreign components, such as from Chinese manufacturers or manufacturers from other countries. And those typically talk with servers and other communication systems that are there in those foreign countries, and it routes all the way to them and then comes back. Well, those can easily tap in and hone in on communications that we are conducting at Yuma Proving Ground, and so that presents that risk. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions for me for Yuma Proving Ground.
Commissioners have questions of the speaker? Yes, Commissioner Bowers.
This is not the first electrical thing out there, isn't there already a number of them?
Correct. Yeah, there are some solar arrays, I believe, that were built close by, it's one thing we've learned over the course of testing, and some of this was done before my positions, or I took my current position as operations division chief. But a lot of these, we've been getting feedback from our customers in the test community that, hey, we're picking up a lot of these solar arrays that are beyond where our target observation points are, that are just on the horizon, and it causes distortions or problems with collecting some of the test data. And so this idea of encroachment, which we're going to be getting to in a later discussion piece here today, is a significant impact to us. And we've been really trying to work now strategically as an organization to mitigate this risk of encroachment by some of these facilities. Now, typical agricultural use, that has no impact on our baseline readings on some of our sensor technology, nor do, usually their internal owners, to the United States. A lot of them are local farmers. And so they're not a huge concern in those major areas. But the solar farms, yes, those have been an issue, and we've even had to push back on the federal government trying to put solar farms on YPG. So yes, we have addressed that in the past, and it isn't a concern.
Mr. Chairman, so it sounds like this is going to be something that will also challenge your mission.
Yes, absolutely. It's right now our mission is healthy and ongoing and ever increasing. And I believe that the latest Secretary of Defense has put out initiatives throughout the entire DoD as well as the Army, and specifically for UAS testing as well as electronic warfare systems in order to promote that and really energize it, because we need to be on the leading edge of this effort instead of being one step behind. And so we see this as a threat to that in order for us to be able to accomplish our mission. And if we can't do the mission here at Yuma Proving Ground, that mission will leave. And if that leaves, that could be an impact to jobs locally.
Any other commissioners have questions of this speaker? If not, thank you for sharing with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Next speaker, is there anyone else wants to speak concerning this? Yep, we have someone coming forward here.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Pat Headington, 2087 West Chico Lane. I'm here tonight on behalf of the 650 organized members of the Yuma Valley Rod and Gun Club to register our opposition to this concentrated solar project. A lot of our concerns coincide with what Commissioner McDermott was talking about. Concentrated solar does not have a real positive reputation when dealing with wildlife in the air, birds, bats, those kinds of things. While we recognize the technology that this applicant is using to actually generate electricity, they're still focusing that heat energy into a small area. Birds, bats, and any other wildlife that's going to have to travel through that area could be subject to damage that they may not recover from. Some of our other concerns are definitely the Sonoran pronghorn, which are an endangered species. They are in the area and are within 5 miles of this area and have a tendency to move in and out of the area, with the agricultural being a little bit further east. So these are the concerns that we have. I had some written comments put together, but after learning a little bit more about this particular process, I'm going to revise those, and I will submit those to the Board of Supervisors prior to their next hearing. So if the commission has any questions of me, I'd be happy to answer those now.
Any commissioners have questions of this speaker? This concentrated solar system, do you find this more susceptible than the solar fields or less susceptible to wildlife?
It's a different set of challenges. I feel it's this particular technology has in my mind, and in talking with the applicant in years past, has the potential to generate more electricity, a greater amount of electricity in a smaller footprint. So the challenge with solar is the footprint that's necessary to generate that electricity. So Ivanpah, which was mentioned earlier, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 acres, generating 386 megawatts. That is scheduled to come offline. And I've found a wonderful little article. I'd be happy to share it with the commission if you would like. As I was scrolling through, and this is actually on, come on phone, little cooperation here. This is actually on the PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric website, dated January 17th of 2025. The headline reads, PG&E agrees to end power purchase from Ivanpah Solar Project to save customers money. The reason they're closing that particular project down is because of the cost of generating electricity through those mechanisms. Now, my understanding in talking with the applicant previously, much of what they're trying to do is experimental, and I'm sure the applicant can comment on that here in a little bit. Part of the reason why, as I recall, they're only developing 8 acres. But from those previous comments, there's a number of hurdles that were facing them even to get started. And one of them is the access issue, because the access issue has to be such that emergency vehicles can get there. And in reviewing that site with the applicant those years ago, that was going to be a tremendous challenge for them to overcome. So I don't know if they've solved that issue yet or not. I'll leave that to the current fire code official to evaluate and determine whether or not the emergency vehicles can get there. So those are just some of the things that we have our concerns with.
Very good. Any other questions of this speaker? If not, thank you for sharing with us. Anyone else here tonight like to speak concerning this case? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my apologies, but I looked it up and it didn't say you as chairman.
I understand. Matthias won't give it up.
All right, yeah. John Fugate, 2428 West 13th Place, Yuma, Arizona, 85364. I'm taking a different angle on this in opposition. You have my written comments. I'm just going to briefly, I'll just cut to the chase. In my eyes, the most important facts for this commission to send a denial recommendation to the supervisors are the following concerns and recommendations advocated and provided by Game and Fish. Now, the applicant just said they're going to have some more meetings, and that's good. I'm not downplaying that in any way, shape, or form, but in my eyes, there's 6 things here that were stated in the department's materials that was given to you all. I believe you had it by the 18th. And briefly, there's solar projects that have already been built and proposed within the vicinity. Although each of these projects may have a minimal impact on the broader landscape, these projects cumulatively could result in loss of habitat, impact wildlife movements, and affect wildlife-related recreation. The endangered pronghorn have been documented within 5 miles. A variety of other Arizona species of greatest conservation need have the potential to occur there. Artificial lighting could impair nocturnal animals. Native plant inventory may need to be conducted to identify things under the native law. But here's the bottom line. In my belief, I'm here representing myself. In order to eliminate potential impacts, some of them may very well get resolved, but I don't know if all of them will. And personally, I just don't think we need to take that chance. And I'll be happy to entertain anything else that may
Any
be of
commissioners
concern.
have questions of this speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone else tonight who would like to speak concerning this special use permit 25-17? If not, we're going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to the commissioners. Any commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner McDermott?
may I make a motion?
Sure.
I would like to move that for denial of the special use permit case number 2517.
We have a motion by Commissioner McDermott with a second by Commissioner Van Wy that we recommend denial for this special use permit case. Any discussions?
I have a comment, Commissioner.
Commissioner Matias. Rosales.
I understand all the aspects in regards to people's opposition and also the situation, but being realistic, and this is something you would probably agree, we're in the need of a water in our state, and water is very important. We have nuclear power plant, we have a coal power plant. The nuclear one wastes 25% of its production bringing in water to our state. We need to find cleaner sources of power production eventually. I know it's hard because people don't want nuclear, they don't want coal, but then if we're not wanting the new technology that is less footprint and minimal impact to our nature, we need to figure something else. Otherwise, eventually, we're not going to have the power that we need to bring in our water to our state. So with that said, I understand the animal impact and so forth, but if we try to build one of these close into town, we're going to get opposition because it's too close to residents. If we try to build them with other technology, I like the idea that they're mentioning there's no chemicals, it's minimal impact. So for that said, I think this is a good project. And again, this is just the special use permit. They still have to go through the development. They have to go through getting their right of way if they're going to get it. I understand the military's opposition, but again, it is land that's available privately, and people are, like you've mentioned in the past, people are able to use their land if we're able to get their permits. So it's just throwing a comment out there, you know, what type of electricity production can we come up with that everybody's going to agree on? Do we want nuclear? Do we want coal? Do we want a 3,000 acre solar panel farm, or do we want an 8-acre technology that might help us produce that energy that our beautiful state of Arizona needs to be able to continue to bring in the water that we pump in throughout the state? So, because the water is needed for our farmers. So eventually this technology might be something for that. So that's just a comment.
I understand, and that's a good comment, and I think that's why the supervisors gets the big bucks, is to
Yep.
be able to take into consideration those political components. You know, but for me, I mean, if we've got our Yuma Proving Ground concern, and we have the Yuma Rod and Gun Club concern, and Commissioner McDermott is concerned. And again, I mean, we did this, we jumped through this hoop already, nothing got accomplished. And it's almost like we're dangling out there trying to find an investor that could be that Chinese company that YPG's worried about, that wants to buy it, because they're going to build this thing hopefully with tax credits. That's their goal, I suspect, is that it's going to be paid for by our government. And it's, I don't see why we should continue to give up our desert for power that probably will never come to Yuma, Arizona. Commissioner McDermott.
Yeah, they don't have to all be in Yuma County. There's a lot of sunshine and there's a lot of desert. And,
California won't let them do it, so that's why they're here.
you know, so it's just.
Well, California buys the power that we produce out here. Again, that's the issue. That's a whole totally aspect to it. But
so
what's the right
anyway,
location?
that's beside the point. But I understand Commissioner Rosales' argument, or his comment, not an argument, but comment. All of us kind of feel that way too. We want to find a way to power our country, but we also want to do what's best for our local community. And the supervisors would have to balance that if they decided not to take our recommendation. Any other comments from commissioners?
I
Commissioner?
just have a comment, and I don't know if this is part of our comprehensive plan, but on the longer, bigger picture, what are we as a county willing to, like a percentage we're willing to ultimately give up for solar production, regardless of the mode? I mean, because over time, they start, pardon me, but inching up, and we're going to have a measurable percentage of our land.
They add up quickly with those big spaces. And I mean, great, this idea.
Yeah, this is a much smaller footprint.
Carries it down. Yeah, I don't know. That's, again, probably something the supervisors would need to weigh in on if there is a number.
Would I be allowed to speak on that point?
Certainly, we'll let the applicant speak. Go.
So regarding foreign ownership, this is a group of private investors. All the engineers are a group of MIT graduates. There's no intent on selling to any foreign entity, and I can't profess to be knowledgeable on whether or not energy systems can even be sold to foreign entities. But at this point in time, there's none of that. This is all American-made stuff. And this particular system has a fraction of the reflective surface area of the properties adjacent to it. But one thing that's missing from all this is it's not just power. This technology delivers heat, and heat's a big part of everything from running absorption chillers to pasteurization for farmland. It's not just power. A lot of the heat energy that's there is used for a number of other things. So it's not just applying the power that we're generating. It's also uber clean heat energy that doesn't require any fossil fuels to generate.
Sir, I have a question.
Commissioner Bowers.
Sure.
Yes. And so I was under the impression that the parts for the actual solar structure are like 90% made in China. Is there manufacturers here in America now for those parts?
When the first that system, the tower itself, the original tower that was built was purchased in China, but it was purchased for a location they weren't even sure where they were going to put it. So that's where that tower came from. The cost of tariffs and carbon steel brought in another project in India that we're looking at doing. They have a 55% tariff on their carbon steel, so that's actually being shipped, built over there. So the receiver itself, the down piping, this is large diameter 60-inch piping that comes down to the turbines. Those and the tank and vessel itself are all being fabricated in the United States. The weather station, the turbines themselves, which is the single most expensive components, are capstone turbines. Those are also purchased here in the United States. And then, of course, the balance of ancillary equipment, like the compressors and the prefabricated building that goes up for service and things like that, the Connex, the panels, the lighting, everything else is being purchased here in the U.S. The cost of the tower, the carbon steel structure, was around $155,000, and the project itself is considerably more than that to build. And the receiver components are a mixture from all over the place, and the heliostats themselves, the initial heliostats that are going in, were manufactured by Southwest Solar about an hour and a half from where the site's located.
The YPG official mentioned that some of the sensors and the communications aspect, though, will be that equipment is coming from China. Do you have an American sourced provider for those type of equipment?
I don't know where he's getting his information, but like the PLC in here is standard what you see at any manufacturing plant. It's an Allen Bradley controller. And there's a series of nodes out in the field that tell the heliostat, hey, it's too windy, so they go to stow position. All the controls were developed by us in-house. And then we used, like I said, Dibble Engineering, which is local to the site out there in Arizona, as well as the guys that developed the electrical distribution were all another American company. As far as the controls, there's only really there's three fans. There's one that circulates the air, and then the other two fans are exhaust blowers. That's where we get all the clean heat energy for other use. And the control system itself, as I said, is all an Allen Bradley based system.
Any other commissioners have questions of the commissioner?
Yeah, just one more comment. I don't see that this adds anything to the quality of life in Yuma County. I really don't. You know, it's only 40 acres, it's only 10 acres, but as much as that area is used for recreation and hunting and all of these other things, then there's already so much land that's restricted from that use. you know,
Yes, and as a reminder, we had this discussion on another solar farm not too long
Yeah.
back, and
And
decided
like-
it wasn't in the best interest
Yeah,
of Yuma County.
but like the gentleman said, you start stacking them up,
They
it
add up.
makes a huge difference.
All right, there is a motion and a second on the table. All discussion is over. All in favor of the motion to recommend denial, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye, nay, whatever you want to call it.
Let the record show that there was one denial, or one objection to the denial or vote against the recommendation to denial, but the motion passed. Moving on with tonight's agenda. Item number 8 on tonight's agenda.
I'll have planner Javier give you a call, okay? It was.
All right. Thank you, Heidi. I forgot to let you do that. Discussion regarding a proposed amendment to the Yuma County 2030 Comprehensive Plan to add influence area of a military installation or range or National Guard site to the glossary and to incorporate the corresponding boundaries in Section 14, Regional Coordination 14.5 of the Yuma Regional Development Plan, Map 1, the Yuma Regional Development Plan. Presenting this tonight is
Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The intent of the proposal amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statutes approved by Governor on March 29, 2024, with House Bill 2548 that got effective on September 14, 2024. The purpose of this amendment is to consider possibly revising the Yuma County 2030 Comprehensive Plan to add influence area in the plan's glossary, as you mentioned, page 305, and depict influence area on map 1 of Yuma Regional Development Plan. Pretty much the intent of the House Bill is to any request for special use rezoning case is within 2 miles from any boundary of YPG and Bombing Range. In this case, planning and zoning needs to notify those entities for any request. We've been doing that for all the time, but now we want to make it part of the plan.
this isn't something that would change what we do in practice. It would just put it into the.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
We received comments from YPG. The first, we created a map and we kind of excluded some boundaries of some buffers, the 2-mile buffer from some areas. One was from Kofa National Wildlife Refuge, and the other one is where you see the rectangle on the left side. That boundary of YPG is within La Paz County. That's why we only work with what's inside Yuma County. But now, since the YPG wants us to show that, so we are doing that. So staff is recommending the following changes to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan. Text that is a strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed, new text to be added. In the glossary, pretty much we add in influence area, and then also we add in military installation or range or National Guard sites, and then that long list of facilities. On the left, you will have the current Yuma Regional Development Map, map number 1, and on your right is the proposed. In yellow is the influence area, highlighted in yellow. It's a 2-mile buffer surrounding YPG and the Bombing Range. Staff recommends forward the proposed changes to the Board of Supervisors for additional discussion and input. We have YPG representative and also MCAS.
Very good. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? If not, public hearing portion of the meeting will be open. Anyone like to speak concerning this recommendation?
My name is Jonathan Olbert. I believe you have my address on record. I represent Yuma Proving Ground, and we fully concur and approve for this, and want to make sure our support is recognized for this. Like one of the instances before, encroachment is a continuous concern for Yuma Proving Ground. This is a step in the right direction in order to mitigate some of that risk to our test mission at the installation. I know that Marine Corps Air Station probably has their own opinion on as well, that follows this. But we continually see once again and time again where we have encroachment issues, and a lot of times, you know, I think a formalized process to alert the commander, the senior installation commander of the base, and have a better formal channel instead of just the garrison representatives is a step forward, because that he can basically address that to his staff, and the staff can do the legwork in order to find the specific concerns that we may have with the proposed project on those sites that are within that 2-mile boundary. So we support this. Thank you.
Do you agree with staff that this doesn't change our practice, it just formalizes it?
I think right now the practice is to contact the garrison manager, which is not the senior installation commander. So it's 2 different people.
We're going to notify the person changes.
Yes, so a little bit different change in that, but it is a similar practice to what's being done right now. So, and we appreciate that.
Any questions? If not, thank you. Anyone else like to comment?
Hi, good evening. Antonio Martinez, Marine Corps Station Yuma. No, I just want to say that we appreciate this. I mean, we've been doing it for years, and but now it's formalized, and at least there's a location that it can be out there, a map where it describes what areas are of concern. And now you can see that it's not only for Marine Corps Station Yuma, but also for Yuma Proving Grounds. I know normally you see me here like going because we have a lot of development going, especially surrounding the range, which is our breadwinner, and that's where majority of our mission lies, within that range. So we appreciate just formalizing the process.
Very good. Any questions of Tony? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anyone else like to speak concerning this issue? If not, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we forward this to the Board of Supervisors as presented by staff.
Second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner
Mosqueda?
Mosqueda. I got it right twice tonight. Now. It twists my tongue.
That's okay.
Commissioner Mosqueda to forward this to the Board of Supervisors as per staff's recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Forwarded to the Board of Supervisors unanimously. Item number 9, discussion regarding a proposed text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to add the definition of influence area of a military installation or range or National Guard site, and to incorporate the corresponding boundaries into the official zoning map and the Yuma County Geographic Information Systems zoning layer. Staff report.
With Barraza, Senior Planner. The intent, again, is the proposed amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statutes approved by the governor on March 29, 2024 with House Bill 2548. In this particular time is the request to do a text amendment to the zoning ordinance. We're going to revise section 704.03 definitions to include a definition for influence area, and also to depict the corresponding boundaries on the official zoning map, and to incorporate the respective layer into the Yuma County GIS. Mr. Chairman, and again, we received comments from Yuma Proving Ground, and this is a recommended text amendment, and the strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text. And section 704.03 definitions, we add in paragraph A, Y, influence area, and also paragraph Z listing the facilities. And this is the index map of the zoning map. And every influence area that touches a zoning map will be updated with this influence area, Mr. Chairman. And staff recommends forward the proposed changes to the Board of Supervisors for additional discussion and input.
Very good. Any commissioners have questions of staff? If not, public hearing portion of the meeting is open. Does anyone want to speak concerning this? If not, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to the commission for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we forward this to the Board of Supervisors for additional input from them.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Van Way has the motion with Commissioner Mosqueda the second to forward this to the Board of Supervisors for their comments and action as per staff's recommendation. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Item number 10 on tonight's agenda is to discussion by commission members or planning director of any events attended or current events or any scheduling for future meetings. Does anyone have anything to offer? Maggie?
Mr. Chairman, the Arizona Association, Planning and Zoning, Arizona Planning Association, I'm sorry about that, is having their annual conference. So I'm not sure if I think I brought it up at the
You did
last,
bring it up.
meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if anybody's interested in attending.
And those dates again were?
The 2nd through the 5th
Of
September.
Yep, I can't do it.
Next week.
That's quick.
I can't do it. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Well, thank you for offering, but it looks like no commissioners are going to be able to take you up on that this year. But I know you will bring back all of the necessary information to make us all look smarter and brighter.
I do encourage anybody, if you can attend, it was well worth my time last year. Unfortunately, I have a mandatory class I have to take on Thursday and Friday, or I would have gone again. But
Really?
yeah, I really do. It was very informative, and it was a good time, and it was a nice resort.
And if we can't do it this year, there's always next year, because Maggie will give us her own little class when she gets back.
I say there's a requirement that the newest commissioner go and represent us. Mr. Garcia should be the one going. He's the newest.
I'll second that.
Take a vote. We have a motion.
Very educational.
We'll send him to the resort.
Look, you're driving the attorney crazy, or.
He's awake. He's like, oh.
All right, that was all a joke for the record. All right, next item on the agenda is call to the public. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on any issue at all? Come forward, Tony.
I thought he was waving goodbye.
Almost. I'll be quick. Antonio Martinez, Marine Corps Station, Yuma. No, I just want to say I want to thank the staff from Yuma County. So talking about this area of influence. So we actually has the past like 2-3 months, we've been part of the pre-development meetings. So when we have any cases, then we're part of that process as well. We get to see those cases beforehand, before it actually becomes an actual case coming to you. And we're able to just add our input in that area. And just so you know, there is a process for foreign-owned entities. It's called the CFIUS. It's the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. It is a program created by the United States. It's voluntary by those companies, where they actually provide all the documentation of who owns the company, what their purpose is, where they're getting all their information, where they're getting all the materials. So it's a good process that we have for when we get some industries coming into the county, and they come to us first. That's one of the processes that we kind of send them to, so they can be vetted that way, and it makes life easier once it comes to the permitting process. So just want to throw that out there, because when something gets close to the base, we have that, and we also have obviously our mission assurance department going deep dive into who's coming right next to us as well.
Good.
But besides, I mean, main point is thanking the staff for making us being part of this process from the start. So
we've got the best staff we've ever had.
do.
These guys are doing a great job.
you.
If we could just get the permits a little faster.
You were doing good. He was kidding.
He was kidding.
Yes. Pizza.
Come on, fun. There goes pizza next week. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Johnny Fugate again. I just want you guys to know that irregardless of who the commanding officer is at YPG or at Marine Corps Air Station, from a sportsman or a public access concept, they are always open and willing. It's not a right for us to get to trespass on either range. It's a privilege. And those two individuals there and this individual here are responsible for me being allowed to go there as a privilege, and they work very closely with the public.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else under call to the public? If not, all business has been accomplished for the evening. We thank you all for staying here and closing the shop with us. And this meeting is officially adjourned.